effective against STDs? Oh,
it blocks the semen from getting in the vagina, carrying
correct.
the disease.
That was a good one. I didn't know you guys were gonna get that. All right, you guys got 15 seconds to think about any more answers that you guys might have.
It breaks up the skin-to-skin contact.
At least try to get one more, and then you'll win this round, unless Team 3 has.
It prevents the STD in a man from going into the woman and vice versa.
That's kind of like,
What I said.
yeah.
I guess it kind of protects like bacteria wise, like.
You guys are kind of hitting it, and I don't think that you guys will get it, but Team 2, you want to give it a stab?
Yeah.
No. We were just gonna say that like bodily fluids can't be exchanged.
Okay. I would say Team 1 took this
Yeah.
round because you guys are definitely hitting the main reason about how condoms are effective. But they do protect against all STDs if using right. So make sure your sexual partner is using condoms right, and that goes for you women as well. If you guys prefer to use a female condom, just make sure it is applied right. That's how you get protected. Condoms are 82% effective. It's usually 99% effective, but people do not use condoms the right way, so not everyone is perfect, so it goes down to 82. That is still a high rate in using condoms, so don't let that stop you from using condoms. This is what I was trying to tell you guys. Latex condoms are the most effective condoms. Latex condoms are the only condoms that help protect against STDs. It's just something about the latex that is the protective barrier from the vaginal and semen fluid from coming into the other person. It's not effective in any type of other condoms, so latex is the only one that actually is the effective. Condoms can be used during oral and anal sex. People may not think that you don't use condoms for oral sex, but they are used. The condoms that you guys may know as the flavor condoms and the condoms that have certain cases are used for oral sex. Do not use that for vaginal sex because that is how you guys get yeast infections and UTIs and stuff like that. So those are what the condoms that people from like the condom buffet and the health center encourage you guys to use them for. So because you can get an STD in the mouth, herpes, chlamydia, etc. And like you guys said, that you guys hit the nail on, is it prevents vaginal fluids and semen from spreading it to another person, which is really good. Okay, since Team 1 has took the title, sorry Team 2, you guys can still be here for the bonus round. You guys have 20 seconds to come up with the top lines college students say about unprotected sex.
Them?
No.
Oh, us?
Your team.
Oh, okay.
I thought we won round
We
1
have
and 2.
two. No, we're not really wrong. You guys said vaginal fluids and they said that.
No, we're talking about the very first
two
round we won,
rounds.
and then we won the second round.
And then they won the
last
third round. It's only been 3 rounds.
Sorry.
If they want it, they can.
Y'all can take it.
It's all right.
No, I thought the bonus round was gonna be both of us, so no.
No,
It's
it's
fine.
the bonus round.
You're still not gonna win the prize.
Okay.
Alright, Team 2, you can take it. Yo, I have to say this one.
Are we writing it down?
Yes.
Got 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, why can't I just say it?
You can say it.
Oh, so like, I was trying to say like some people would just say like it's just not.
It's uncomfortable. It's unattractive. I don't want to do it.
It's not cool.
He won't let me.
It's sexier with that kind of.
It doesn't feel right.
But I love him.
He
Okay.
told me he's free of STDs. I believe him. There you go.
Alright. That was most lines that college students do say about unprotected sex. So, like you guys said, it doesn't feel the same with condoms on. You can get STDs during oral sex, which is a lot of people don't think that you can get STD during oral sex. You can, you really can. Using 2 condoms are more safer.
I've heard.
You do not use 2 condoms during oral sex. You have to use a condom that fits your body, your genitals perfectly. That is the only way you can be prevented from getting any STDs or even pregnancy at that matter. Do not use 2 condoms. Just don't use 2 condoms. Condoms break easily. If condoms are used the right way, condoms are not easily breakable. That is why the lubrication is on there, because it helps the sexual intercourse flow better, so it will not break, so don't listen to that. And you don't need to use condoms unless you had multiple partners. A lot of people think that if you're a virgin, you won't get an STD, or if you only had one sexual partner, you don't get an STD. STDs happen to everyone, from babies to pregnant women to people our age. So if someone has an STD and you have unprotected sex, no matter how many multiple sexual partners you had or less sexual partners you had, you will still contract the STD. So using condoms is important. And chlamydia goes away on its own. Chlamydia does not go away on its own. You have to go and get the medication provided for it. There's pills, there's shots. There's different ways of medication and treatment that you guys can go through. It is not like the flu, just because it is a bacterial infection. It is not the flu, it's not the common cold. It is something that you have to go. It will be in there until you go get it treated. For women especially, it can affect your pregnancy. Your baby can be born with chlamydia. You get pelvic inflammatory disease, and that is literally the same as your genital area burning. It's a very burning sensation. So women especially, you have more risk factors of not getting treated with chlamydia. So if you do feel as though that you have symptoms such as when it burns when you pee, do not brush it off. Just go get checked. It's always safe to go get checked at least twice a year or something. Just when you feel something is wrong, just go get checked. That's the best answer. So we're just gonna do a little recap of what we have learned throughout the game, because there was a lot of answers thrown all over the place. So chlamydia is common in young adults, especially college students in our age. We have the most high STD rates. Even though HPV is on the rise now, chlamydia is still a prominent STD that is on college campuses especially. Condoms are effective and help protect against STDs. Condoms help against chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV/AIDS, all of the STDs if used right. So make sure that you and your partner both know how to effectively put on a condom, right? Condoms are 82% effective. That is a very high rate. It is probably even higher if your effectiveness is even higher if your partner knows how to put on the condom right. This is just a national percentage about how effective they are, because sometimes people do make mistakes and condoms are not effective. But as long as you both feel as though the condom is right, if you know the condom is put on right, even if you guys practice together on how to put on condoms, then the effective rate is higher. Getting tested is necessary if you are sexually active. Please, 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 if you don't learn anything from this program, please go get tested. It is vital that you guys get tested. Even if you feel as though that you don't have anything, just get tested just to have that reassurance. If you feel as though that you had unprotected sex and you might have something, just go get tested. Most STDs are treatable, so don't be afraid. Don't feel ashamed that you have an STD, because it happens to most of us. In fact, 1 in 4 women has had an STD, so it's very common, unfortunately. But don't let that stop you from getting treated. And last but not least is don't be afraid to ask your sexual partner to use protection. Just because you feel as though it might be awkward or ruin the moment, as people say, it is better for you to use protection rather than you wake up the next morning and you might have an STD. Like, herpes or chlamydia or gonorrhea or something like that. Like, you don't want that to affect your body. You don't want to have that feeling of knowing that you might have an STD. So if you feel the need to use protection against your partner, don't hesitate to ask. I mean, it's very common. It's okay. That's what you should be doing to have safe sex. So safe sex is good sex. All right, guys. So thank you for participating in my program. If you guys have any questions or comments, please ask.
I have a question.
Yes.
So chlamydia, that is transmitted through like vaginal fluid, well, vaginal fluid and semen, or is it like skin to skin contact?
It's transferred from fluids. There's other STDs that are transferred through skin to skin contact, like HPV and stuff like and HIV/AIDS. But since chlamydia is a bacterial infection, you have to have fluids. So that's why if you have oral sex with someone who has chlamydia, that's how you get it, because of the fluids that's coming from them can be transferred into your mouth, vaginal area, or even when you have anal sex. So that's why if you feel, even if you know, or like just, condoms are, even though it's kind of weird to use condoms